The diner buzzed with the late lunch crowd, the clatter of plates, the hiss of the coffee machine, and the hum of conversations about business deals and broken dreams. Emma wiped her hands on her apron and sighed. It was her third double shift that week. Between paying her mother's hospital bills and saving for her younger brother's college tuition, sleep had become a luxury she couldn't afford. At table 6 sat a group of sharply dressed men, their expensive watches flashing under the diner's fluorescent lights. One of them, a silver-haired man in his 50s, laughed loudly as he scrolled through something on his phone. "That's Robert Kingsley," whispered another waitress. "The film producer. The guy who made the Ember Chronicles." Emma blinked. The Robert Kingsley? She'd read about him in magazines, the kind of man who turned unknowns into stars and dreams into million-dollar franchises. She smiled faintly and approached their table, pen ready. "Good afternoon. What can I get for you today?" Robert didn't look up. "Coffee. Black. And maybe a little peace from all this noise," he said dryly, glancing around the bustling diner. His companions chuckled. Emma bit back a sigh. "Coming right up." 10 minutes later, she returned with the coffee. The men were deep in conversation, but Robert was frowning at a tablet screen. "I can't believe this," he muttered. "The translator bailed on us. We've got an urgent script from a Korean writer, apparently, it's the next Parasite. But without translation, I can't even tell if it's worth the rights." One of his assistants laughed. "Maybe we should let the waitress try. She looks smart enough." Robert smirked. "Sure. Why not? Hey, sweetheart, translate this for me, and I'll make you a director." He spun the tablet toward her, the challenge thick with sarcasm. The men roared with laughter. But Emma didn't flinch. She glanced down at the page, lines of Hangul characters filled the screen. And to everyone's surprise, she began to read. Her voice was calm, deliberate, and perfectly fluent. Within seconds, the diner grew silent. She translated a passage about a mother who sold flowers on a rainy street, dreaming her son would one day see sunlight beyond her shadow. Her voice wavered slightly, not from fear, but from emotion. The story she was translating echoed her own life in haunting detail. By the time she finished, not even the coffee machine dared to hiss. Robert's mouth hung open. "You speak Korean?" Emma nodded. "My mom's from Seoul. She taught me before she got sick. I used to translate scripts for her favorite dramas so she could understand them better." There was no arrogance in her tone. Just honesty. Robert cleared his throat. "That, was beautiful. You captured the tone perfectly." "Thank you," Emma said quietly. But it wasn't the words. It was the feeling behind them. The story wasn't about money or fame. It was about sacrifice. The millionaire, who had built his empire on box office numbers, suddenly looked small. He tapped his tablet, scrolling back through the script, seeing it now through her eyes. "Emma, was it? Would you be interested in reading the rest with me? I might need a translator. A real one." The men exchanged looks. Was he serious? Emma hesitated, glancing at her apron, her name tag smeared with syrup. "I have another shift tonight." Robert smiled faintly. "How about a different shift?" "My office, tomorrow morning." No apron required. Months later, the headlines read, "Waitress turned film consultant brings humanity to Hollywood hit." The movie, Paper Blossoms, became an international success, praised for its emotional depth and authenticity. At the premiere, when a reporter asked Robert why he'd taken a chance on a waitress, he simply smiled. "She didn't translate the words," he said. "She translated the soul." Moral. True talent doesn't always wear a suit. Sometimes, it wears an apron and carries more heart than a room full of millionaires.